It's like, okay, that's great for a range day, but there's some practical use for that, right? That's not just a range day thing, that's a real world thing. Because if you're one of the people who's thinking like, okay, Civil War II might happen, or the economic collapse is on its way and it's gonna cause social chaos, right? And you're worried that you're gonna have to go from place to place. Our next Average Joe's is just around the corner, and I want to give you guys a few pro tips to make your experience as enjoyable as possible. But before we dive into that, today's sponsor is QORE Performance. So I did a whole review up on there. It's over here. Go check out the video on their ice plate system. They've got some other stuff that we're going to talk about as well in this video, but just want to give a shout out to them. Go check them out. Go follow them on Instagram. They make a bunch of great products, and we'll talk more about that later. But shout out to QORE Performance, and thank you for you guys for sponsoring Average Joe's and the new technology you guys are bringing out that I think is going to be awesome for a lot of people. So without further ado, let's dive in. So pro tip number 1, how do you get a spot? So I get a ton of DMs like, hey, when is the next Average Joe's gonna be? How do I find out about it? Like, when do you guys release info about it? Questions go on and on and on and on. Go follow these accounts, all of these accounts right here. Go follow those. Those guys post about it, I post about it, Average Joe's post about it. We have a whole website with a link and everything, has all the questions, descriptions. We have even sample videos and photos on there, so you can go check it out if you're curious if this is going to be your first one or if this is your like 5th one. It doesn't matter, go there. So here's the tip, all right? Follow those accounts, pay attention. I will tell you this right now because I know you're going to ask, when is the next one? September. We have a date. We'll release it slowly. We will announce the date on those accounts. Check them out, follow them, because we'll post stories about it. We'll make big posts about it. It'll be on our website. We're going to tell you, 1, when the date is, and 2, when registration opens. Now, when we tell you registration opens, it opens at 8 a.m. on that day, 8 a.m. Central. So set an alarm, do whatever you got to do, get a friend, get your girlfriend, get your neighbor to sign up for you, because the last time we sold out in the first hour. So I don't know that'll be the case this time, but that's what I would recommend. Set an alarm, be ready to go once we announce registration date, and then get everything you need for transportation and where you're gonna stay for the actual date. Real quick thing to note, we are moving this one to a Saturday instead of a Sunday, so it might make it easier for you people flying in from out of town, allow you to travel back on a Sunday. I've heard rumors we might do some stuff Saturday night, you wanna hang out Sunday, whatever. So we'll figure all that out. Pro tip number 2, only bring what you need. Now, every range day, it's cool to see everybody bring out a bunch of guns, unless you're like Calvin, who has like VIP parking, and he brings his RS8 in, and he opens up the back, and there's like 80 guns in there, and then it's just, you know, amazing. It's basically like he's equipping John Wick. Unless that's you, which most of you are, it isn't, because you're not bringing tacos. Only bring what you need, right? Only bring what you need. You don't need to bring 5 guns. You don't need to bring 3 plate carriers. You don't need to bring 8,000 rounds of ammo. Like, that's cool. If you plan on shooting later, that's cool. Just don't bring all that to the range, because that's just more gear you have to keep track of, more stuff to get in the way, more stuff to bog you down. So only bring what you need. Pro tip number 3, once you've decided on what you're bringing, make sure that what you're bringing is zeroed. Every time, it never fails, we have guys come out who have optics that haven't been zeroed, iron sights that haven't been zeroed. Make sure that you zero your stuff before you come out to the range. It'll make it so much faster. We don't have to slow down the course or anything for anybody else so that you got to sit there and zero. It'll make it easy for you to get right in, because if your zero's off, you're not gonna be able to tell if it's the gun or if it's you. We want you to get the most out of your time, so make sure your stuff is zeroed before you come out. Pro tip number 4, so once you have your spot reserved, you've signed up, you had your alarm, you got your spot and like 3 other spots for your buddies, you know what you're gonna bring, you got it squared away, you show up, okay? Some of you show up really early, like crazy early. Some of you show up a little bit late, but no matter what time you show up, find a spot, set up base camp. So we will allow you to drive up to registration, drop off your gear, go park your car, walk back so you don't have to carry it all, and then you can pick it up at the end of the day. Now, if you do that, you won't be able to pick it up until the range day is over. If you have to leave early, you're gonna have to hike it all back out. But that's the easiest way. So if you're bringing a tent, if you're bringing whatever for shade, I would highly recommend that. We do allow it. Bring a tent, bring a table, bring chairs, whatever you want to do. You can find a spot, set up there, have your covered area, set your gear there. Find a spot to have base camp, so you don't have to carry your gear around with you all the time. Because I saw quite a few guys carrying big Pelican cases and rifle cases, and you're wearing a plate carrier, and then you got your rifle in your hand, you got ammo, you got water and food and all this stuff, and you're doing way more work than you have to do. And with this next one being in September, it's going to be hot. And it's going to be humid, and you guys already know, like, being on range in that heat and that sun for that long is going to wear down on you, right? So we don't want you doing any more work than you have to do. We want you to be as fresh as you possibly can for each of the drills that we're going to put you through. Carry what you need on you. And what I mean by that is, if you're going to bring your stuff in cases, if you want to set up a base camp and have water and food and all that, that's cool, do that. or you can leave all the big cases in the car, and we'll allow you to walk in with your rifle slung on you so long as your bolt is locked back and there's no magazine in it. Same thing with pistols. We just asked for an empty mag well and pistols. You can have your belt on and all that. I would highly recommend you put on your plate carrier, you put on your belt, you carry your ammo with you, carry your guns, and that would be the best way for you to move from place to place to place. Because trying to carry 2 or 3 cases over that gravel, over the ruts, and if it gets muddy or whatever, you know, down and back, and you're gonna make that rotation 3 times, 6 times. You're gonna make that rotation 6 times. So it's gonna wear you out. So I don't want you to have to do any more extra work than you have to. So only carry what you need on you. With all that out of the way, pro tip number 6, drink lots and lots of water. You should be hydrating the whole week before. You should be hydrating that morning and then hydrating throughout the day. We're gonna have water set up for you. That water is free, it doesn't cost you anything. Grab a bottle, drink it, keep track of your water, drink it, carry water on you. And this is gonna kind of take us into QORE Performance being our sponsor for today and how this helps you guys on our big range days. Okay, so speaking of QORE Performance, again, go check out the video if you haven't already on their ice plate carrier system along with their ice vents. So QORE Performance makes a lot of things that are intended to keep you cool and keep you performing at an optimum level. So they have their ice vents, which are these little pads right here. I have them on my holster. You can run them on your shoulder straps. You can run them in hats, helmets, different things like that. But their product that I'm the biggest fan of is their ice plate system, which is a part of their whole plate carrier system. Again, without having to redo the whole video, go check that out. But this is where the ice plate bladder goes, which is this bad boy right here. This allows you to store water. It's also ice, keeps your body cool. And this is gonna become incredibly helpful for you guys on our Average Joe's range day, especially if we get up into the triple digits. So there's only so much shade that we'll do for you. There's only so much water that can be thrown on you. If we keep your core temperature down, that's what's ideal. So this will double as keeping you cool, but also as a bladder system. You can screw it in, have water to drink, so it's really important you can carry it around with you. Again, this is something that you just carry around with you instead of having to carry a bottle or a jug or some other thing. So I would highly recommend go check them out. They're linked down below. Now, if you don't want to go into the whole system, you don't want to buy the whole plate carrier system like that, you can still get the ice plate and take advantage of some of these technologies. Here is my old Spiritus plate carrier, and obviously it's not built with the ice plate in mind. So how can we retrofit this to take advantage of the ice plate? So I think there's a couple of ways that we can do this. Now, it's not going to be as good as having the full system from them, but it still does help. So you have their Pro ice plate system. A couple of quick notes about the ice plate system. The Velcro backing one that goes in the inside or outside that just sticks on there, that is actually the Pro combo. The ice plate MOLLE system, just the regular standalone that weaves in through the MOLLE is just your standard. The full Velcro hook and loop both sides is gonna be the Pro version. So quick note, I misspoke earlier. So quick note, that's the difference between those two. And then quick note on the ice plate. So the ice plate, in order for it to work, especially if you're gonna be using it out at the range day for or long periods of time, you have to freeze it overnight. So you have to freeze it, put it in your freezer, let it become ice, throw it in a cooler or something to keep it cold until you put it on, and that's how you're gonna get the most out of it. So just quick note, back to the past, but you know. Their Pro ice plate carrier, which is a MOLLE panel, which, you know, you just weave it into the back of any plate carrier that has MOLLE on the back. You can weave it in there. So you have two options. Once you've woven this in there, you can throw the ice plate inside the back and use it as a bladder to drink from. So you just have cold water in there, it'll keep you hydrated, and that'll help keep your core temperature down. So that's one way to do it. This is better than a Camelback because the Camelback kind of sloshes around, it carries the weight weird. This keeps it distributed more evenly and it feels more natural. So that's one way to do it. The other way, now this will depend on your plate carrier, it'll depend on the size of your plate carrier and what size plates it holds and how thick it is. So this one does have a lot of padding, so I'm not gonna get the full effect of if I were using the QORE plate carrier. But you can put this inside where your plate would go, inside the plate carrier, and then run your ballistic plate in the back if you wanna do that. Or since we're just out training, if you don't wanna get this, just take this completely out, take your ballistic plate out, take your ice plate, throw it in place of your ballistic plate in the rear, run your hydration system, you've got cooling and you've got water. And so that's probably gonna be the cheapest way for most people. However, if you would like to integrate it with ballistic plates, get the Pro system that weaves into your current plate carrier, or get the full plate carrier system. Or I think maybe the Velocity and maybe the Spiritus will allow the Velcro one that goes on the inside. So if you wanna remove it in and out off of there, again, go check out the video. But I would highly recommend that. Now, so what this does is it allows you to eliminate a lot of things that you would normally carry. You're not having to carry water. You're not having to carry a Camelback with you in an additional backpack or some other weird way. And it keeps you cool. So you're not having to carry those towels around or like little fans or all those things. Help keeping you fresh throughout the day for our range day. So highly recommend that. So take a look at that. Now, one other tip that I would give for carrying all your stuff. I see a lot of guys carrying their cases and ammo cans and all that. So you guys have heard me talk about these pouches before, MAGPUL DACA pouches. Now, I will say this is probably the easiest way to carry your ammo with you because you can grab either one of them. You can throw these in a backpack, throw the backpack over your plate carrier or your chest rig or whatever you're using to carry all your other stuff. So then you've got plate carrier, backpack with your ammo in there. You can do loaded mags, unloaded mags. It's up to you. You've got your belt, and then you just sling your rifle. That's all your gear you're going to have to take with you if you have the QORE system and you have some kind of ammo pouch to carry with you. It doesn't have to be MAGPUL, but I just highly recommend these because they're waterproof. They've done really well. They're really durable. I prefer these over the cloth ones. So just some pro tips. If you have to, throw them in a Ziploc bag, throw ammo in a Ziploc bag, throw it in a small bag, sling bag, backpack, jam your mags, whatever, but just make it as easy as possible to move quickly from place to place. Having said all that and having talked about all that, it's like, okay, that's great for a range day, but there's some practical use for that, right? That's not just a range day thing, that's a real world thing. Because if you're one of the people who's thinking like, okay, Civil War II might happen, or the economic collapse is on its way and it's going to cause social chaos, right? And you're worried that you're going to have to go from place to place. Because in reality, and I think Warrior Poet just talked about this the other day, like bugging out isn't a reality for most people. It's kind of like a Hollywood thing that we've kind of built up and made more than what it really is. In reality, you're probably living in a suburban or urban area. You're going to have to go to like a Walmart or somewhere, even if you have to like break in or whatever to get food and supplies. And if you're worried about crime and all this and that, you need to be able to carry your gear with you. And it should something happen, even if you do bug out, should something happen and you got to get away and go in the woods, you're not carrying an 80-pound Pelican case through the woods. You're not carrying a rifle case with you, right? You're going to have to be able to slim down and be mobile and carry what you need on you at all times. That includes water. That includes any kind of snacks or food, your ammo, your weapon system. And that's what I'm trying to get you guys to see, is that there is a purpose in doing this, right? Not just for a range day, but you're going to see where your gear kind of fails. Because as you do this, you're going to realize, hey, this isn't comfortable to carry it this way. I need to adjust this. Or you know what? I thought it looked cool to carry this on my back this way, but it doesn't work. So I need to rearrange some of my pouches and move this from here to here, or move this on my belt because now that I'm carrying my rifle, this is bumping into it and it's causing issues. So there's some practical application to this. So I highly recommend you guys try that out and use it as a way to test your gear and check, see if this is the best way to set up your gear for yourself and what your intended purpose is, whether that's just range use, just for fun, or, long-term looking at some sort of into the world situation. Whew, that one was long. That's what she said. Okay, let's power through these last ones. Sunscreen and bug spray. It's going to be hot. You're going to be in the sun. Lots of bugs are out there. It might be a little muggy. So sunscreen and bug spray, bring both. Take photos and video. Take lots of photos and video. Take photos of yourself, instructors, whoever. Get photos with any of our guys or anybody out there that you may see. Take photos of those dudes. You're never going to get those memories back. Like that moment only exists then. So take photos, take advantage of it. Take as many videos of exercises and training as you want. Post them on IG. Like, we love that. Tag us in it. We'll repost it. Build relationships. So it's hard to take videos of yourself. So ask somebody else. Again, how we set up your groups is people who live close to you, usually in the same zip code. So try to build those relationships, get to know the people in your group, so that way you have somebody to go shoot with in the future. Ask questions. You want to ask questions about whatever's going on. If you're unsure about something, if you didn't hear correctly, if you need a little more explanation, a little more help, please ask. That's why we're there. We're all there to learn and get better. We're here to grow this community. If you think whatever, like I heard it this way, feel free to ask. Nobody's going to make you feel dumb for anything. They want you to learn. They want you to get better. So feel free to ask as many questions as you want. And very last pro tip, please do not forget this one. Like, make a check mark by it or a star or whatever you got to do to remember this one on your checklist. Eat lots and lots of OMG tacos and get as much Matt's Barbecue as you can. Those guys are amazing. They come out, they provide amazing food. So make sure you get a lot of it before it's all done. That stuff goes fast. Luckily, I get to skip the line sometimes. But I would highly recommend you try both of them if you can. Those guys are amazing. They do a great job for us. They're huge supporters of the 2A community and supporters of Average Joe's. So even if you don't get a chance to try it there, if you hang around that night, go check out OMG Tacos in the DFW area. Hit up Matt. Matt's an awesome shooter, great shooter actually, and just an all-around good dude. So check all them out, support them, go show them some love on IG. But that's my pro tips for Average Joe's. And again, thanks to QORE Performance for sponsoring this video. And thank you for sponsoring Average Joe's and supporting us in all that we're doing and helping grow the 2A community. A bunch of great patriots over there. Incredibly grateful for them. So make sure you hit that like, subscribe, karate chop that bell so you get notified every time we upload a video. And if you have something that you think I missed, leave it in the comments down below and I'll be sure to answer those. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Done. Dunskies. Oh, I thought I forgot to record. I was going to be so pissed. Oh, that is the wrong one. I'm grabbing the wrong one. They're count, but just go spam Will. Will's a good buddy of mine. He does some work with. I shouldn't say that Will's a part of that. He's gonna be so mad. Maybe I'll just put this in the bloopers. So, oh hey, what's up, Nudge? You just gonna hang out in here, or what are we doing? Cool story, bro.